Okay, you guys, we are going to be making this adorable little cocktail holder. It's actually a really cool box that holds a little mini peppermint schnapps. So isn't that so adorable? And it just fits right in there, and you close it up and there you go. Um, you'll notice that this little ornament, I don't know if you guys will be able to tell up close, it has a little decorative piece to the ornament itself that I kind of wanted to show you how I got that. Oh, that's a good shot. Okay. So this is featuring the Frosted Gingerbread suite from the holiday mini catalog, the 2021 holiday mini. I think it's called the July or August through December mini catalog, whatever. We call it the holiday mini because it's full of all the holiday stuff, right? So it features one of the papers, the red and white peppermint paper from the Gingerbread and Peppermint 6x6 paper pack. But today for the demonstration, I actually pulled the red and green, which this is Granny Apple Green, but I'm using Pear Pizzazz. I like, it matches perfectly. Maybe that is Pear Pizzazz. Hang on a sec. Oh, it's not telling me. Oh wait, here we go. It says it coordinates with cinnamon cider, early espresso, old olive. So it's old olive is what this paper is, but I'm using Pear Pizzazz. It's actually a great match. I like that it's a little bit darker on the print. No big deal. And we're doing one of the other, so this one has the Wishing You a Merry Christmas on the ornament for the tag. However, for this demonstration, I actually pre-stamped the Sending You Peppermint Kisses. I thought that was hysterical considering this is Peppermint Schnapps. Just know that obviously you're going to want to send this to the appropriate person. You're not going to send somebody you've never met before, or somebody you work with, Peppermint Kisses. So just be prepared for that one. Okay, so we do need oh, and I can go ahead and show you the decorative element. So all I did was I cut a little piece. Oh man, I didn't keep my scrap over here. I'm gonna grab my scrap because you guys have to see it. This is why we're called scrappers, right? Because we keep all the scraps. And this is why. Let me show you. So on the brushed metallic cardstock, this is my scrap piece. This is my scrap piece, actually from last year. And you can see where I'm just cutting out. Let me move this. Let's put it on this. You can see where I'm cutting out just the top part to make the little metallic topper for this. So all I did was cut it out twice, and then I cut off the top to make a little band. And then I ran the band through the new timber embossing folder in an area where it looked like it would be like gathered metal. So I didn't do it where there's like a knot in the wood. I did it where there's just a bunch of straight lines over here on the side. So that's how I did that little decorative element. Let me grab my glue. So I'm just using the multi-glue, and I'm just going to put a couple dots of glue. And I'm just going to layer this, and we can set it aside so it can dry. To finish off the ornament, I actually just have a piece of the linen thread that I tied into a bow. So we'll do that here in a sec too. Let me straighten this. I don't know if I'm going to be off screen or not. It's kind of, oh, there we go. It's kind of a little wonky. It's hard to do this reaching across a camera. So, okay. So there's that. Oh, let me grab take your pick tool because I have a little gummy end that would be so helpful right now. Okay. Looky there. Well, that's taking me way longer than it should. So there we go. We'll let that dry. Set it aside. Oh wait, of course I picked it up and I bumped it. Okay, there we go. Set it aside, let it dry. All right, so now we're gonna get to, let me move my scrap. Let me put my scrap away. I can get at least 3 more ornaments off of that little piece, right? So, all right, so let's set my stuff aside. We got our paper. Okay, I'm gonna start with the panel, cutting the panel. The panel is as easy because this is a 6x6 piece of paper. So I'm just gonna put this, let me see what my panel size is. If I can read, 1 3/8. So the 3/8 mark is gonna be you've got small marks, and then you have long marks, and then you have the 1/4 inch marks. You're gonna count the medium size mark. So 1 plus the 1/4 mark plus the next medium size. So that's 1 3/8. So you're gonna put your paper edge there and then cut. Now for the panels, I only have 2 panels. I have the front panel and then I have the back panel. So what I advise and what I didn't do, I spent way too much time trying to figure out my panels, is you're just gonna cut off 2 1/4 from one of the panels, and that will be your front, and whatever's left will be your back, because nobody's gonna see the back. The back is hidden way in there. So I spent all this time and wasted 2 whole sheets of paper, or 2 whole strips of paper, trying to get this perfect. Also, this one is a little bit wider than I made this one. So this one we're gonna make match. Okay, hopefully that all makes sense. We're doing it good the second time around. So we have our panels ready. Now we need a piece of cardstock. That's the Pear Pizzazz. That is 11, so the full length of the sheet, by 5 3/4. Oops, I almost did it wrong. 5 3/4. There we go. I gotta turn my paper. So I'm just gonna cut that, and it gives you this little piece right here. Move that aside. On the long end, we're going to score it. So you want to make sure your cutting blade is out of the way. We're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Put it on the 1/2 inch mark. 1/2 inch. Then we're going to move it to 2. Then we're going to move it to 4 3/4. We're coming off of the screen here shortly. And then 6 1/4. Now 6 1/4 on the trimmer is going to be all the way to, you may not be able to see it, there's a little teeny tiny score mark in the dark side of this, of the trimmer edge. So we're going to go ahead and do that there. Okay. Score it there. Do that there. I meant score it there. Now we're going to turn it 180 degrees. Doop. And we're going to score it again at 1/2 inch. Hopefully that's on the 1/2 inch mark, because it's kind of a weird angle. And then we're going to score it at 2 inches again. But this time when we score it, we're also going to cut up from the bottom to that last score line. Pardon my head if it's in the frame. So we're going to then move it to 3 3/4. Same thing. We're going to go ahead and do a score line, and then we're going to cut up to the first intersecting score line. Awesome. All right. Oh, and then we've got to do a 1/2 inch on the other side. So then we're going to, it's actually going to be scoring at 5 3/4. I'm sorry, 5 3/4. I meant 5 1/4. 5 1/4. It'll be correct. It'll be correct on your instructions. So there's our last score line. Okay, I almost missed the last score line. We can move this out of the way. And this is what we're left with. I'm just going to reinforce. Where's my bone folder? Let me grab my bone folder. You also need a bone folder. You want to reinforce all of your score lines. Anytime you're making a box, this is imperative. It just makes everything just finish off nicely. You don't have any weird creases, any kind of, it's just nice, crisp, clean corners. Just lost one of my score lines there. There we go. Okay, so we're all scored up. We're all shored up. Now, we don't need these two pieces. We can just cut those right off. Right on the score line. Boop. You got to make that noise too. Now I have my elegant tag topper. I'm going to take my first panel because we want to get this part out of the way. My Stampin Seal. Stampin Seal Plus. We're going to go ahead and add some, but I'm gonna like not put any on this top quarter because I don't want my punch to get all gunky. We're gonna grab the delightful tag topper punch. Ooh, I just hit the camera. Sorry, you guys. Sorry. And I'm going to, let me just make sure this is centered. It's not. All right. You don't get very much work time. Oh, yep. Nope. I missed it. I missed the work time. Oh, well. Down it goes. That's Stampin' Seal Plus, you guys. It is no joke. It is my go-to for box making. Then we're going to take the delightful tag topper. Now, this does 1 inch. It does 1.5 inch and 2 inch. I find that I can still cram it in no matter what the size, up to 2 inches, sometimes over 2 inches. Center it from the back. And then punch. Ta-da! Okay. Then that just made our topper. Hopefully it's not going to be so crooked that it's going to look weird when we're done, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, now that that's done, we want to punch a hole, which I didn't grab my hole punch. I'm using a 1 inch hole punch for this square right here. So I'm going to take a pen and I'm just going to eyeball where my center is. I'm coming from a weird angle, so hopefully that's center. Then we're going to take our 1 inch punch. Now you can also use a 1 inch die cut. You don't have to do a punch, but you want to do this part first because that's the way you get that hole in there centered and nice and you don't have anything in the way. I just hit the camera again. I'm so sorry. Okay, so now here we are. This is what we have. We've got all of our pieces, and the way this is going to fold, it's going to fold in like this to make the box. Does that make sense? So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and cut our side pieces. Trying to do it straight and at an angle. These bottom pieces can come right off. We do not need those. These bottom two rectangles, the square and the rectangle, those can come off. They're not needed for this box. Okay. Keep cutting. Cutting. Awesome. Now, we're also not going to need these two pieces because these two pieces are going to be adhered to the sides. So it just adds a lot of extra bulk that we don't need for containing our little boozy bottle, our little schnapps bottle. So we're going to go ahead and pull that off. Now, normally we would have notched this, but we need this. We need this to secure to this back end. So we're going to leave this rectangle, but we're going to notch these two only because when we put our box together, we want it to fit together nicely with no edges that kind of poke out. So we're just going to notch the inside of those and we're going to leave this square. And now we're going to apply our adhesive. Oh, wait, let's go ahead and notch these though. So these need to be cut in half and notched. You guys know how I do with my boxes. We need to notch that. Ugh. Cut this in half. Oops, that was not even. That isn't even. And notch this one. And then we need to notch this one here. Hopefully I'm in camera for all of this because it is hard to reach and do all of this. Okay. So this is what we have. Now we're ready for the adhesive. Woo! Okay. So we're going to be placing, this is going to be sticking to this. So we need adhesive on the back side of this, but also on this and this, because those are all folding up. I like to do just like an equals sign with my Stampin' Seal Plus. Make sure you use the Stampin' Seal Plus because this is a box and you want it to stay together, right? You want it to be, and then this one too. So we've got adhesive here, 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 and here. Now you can also use liquid glue, but it requires a little bit of hold time that I don't particularly prefer. So now we're going to put it together. We're just going to line up the corner here. Well, hang on. I got to trim. This is a little bit, let me just take off. It's not going to be pretty because I didn't cut it very straight. So I'm just going to kind of straighten it a little bit. That was going to be an ugly corner. Yeah, I tell you, I am just not. Okay, there we go. Woo! It's tough when you're on camera and all of a sudden my hands are shaking. I don't know what is up. Okay, so make your corners pretty. You want the corner to be pretty. Okay, so now we're going to fold this one over. We're going to fold this one over. Again, trying to line up to make your pretty corner. And then we're going to fold this one down. And we want this edge to line up with the side of the box. All right. So there we have it. Our box is ready. Let me grab my other little Peppermint Schnapps. And it fits in easily. So easily from the side. And then you just secure your box down. And there you go. Now I did clip a finger hole right here with my punch, my 1/2-inch punch, but it's nowhere near me right now for the video. So just know that you, at this point, you can go ahead and clip in a notch. Actually, I'm going to use the 1-inch punch that I just used. Let's use that 1-inch punch. That'll work too. You can use the same punch. Let me pull this out. Just don't go all the way in. You just want to like a little sliver centered, just so somebody has a finger grip. So I like the 1/2-inch. To me, it looks a little bit more proportioned, but the 1-inch will work too. So don't stress about it. Okay. So now we put this in, close up the box, grab our other little panel. Oh, I might need a new trimmer blade, you guys. Look at that. Oh, yuck. Okay. By the way, this green would look phenomenal too. But we're doing peppermint because this is a peppermint. Center that. Grab our dimensionals. Put 2. Look. My stamp, I stamped it kind of wonky the first time. You know, that happens. That's why we have the back side. As you can tell, I don't waste any paper. We don't waste any paper. Okay, let me center this. Sending you peppermint kisses. Love it. Okay, now I am going to use, because I don't have glue dots handy, I'm going to put a little teeny tiny itty bitty dot of glue. It dries clear but shiny, so you want to make sure you don't get a little crazy if you use glue. I would typically let this dry for about 5 minutes because it turns itself into like essentially a glue dot. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to lay it down gently. And with my bone folder, I'm just going to tap it. Just tap it into the glue. I just don't want that glue to spread too much. Okay, you guys, there is our little cocktail gift box. I hope you guys like it. I hope you have fun making it and have fun with all of your friends for the holiday season. We'll talk to you later.